Hello and welcome to Education World. We are doing our Eduleader Speaks series with Mr. Shantanu today. Shantanu is the principal of Sarala Birla Academy since 2009, a residential international school in Bengaluru. Previously, he headed the Assam Rifles Public School at Shillong and the Aditya Birla Public School in Renusagar. He did his schooling from St. Joseph's Academy, Dehradun, and has a master's in physics and a diploma in German from the Visva-Bharati University, Shantiniketan. He also has a bachelor's in education from the Annamalai University and a master's in business administration from Symbiosis University, Pune. He's been the president of Karnataka ICSE Schools Association and the vice president of Indian Association of Adolescent Health Karnataka and a member of the CII National Council for Education. Welcome, Mr. Das.
Thank you.
So can you tell us about the aim with which Sarala Birla Academy was promoted?
Yes, our chairman is Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla, and it was his overarching vision to have a school that will ignite minds and create in the minds of our children a love for learning and equip him with life skills that would put him first among his equals when he would step out from the portals of this institution. And the idea was to set up a school from where future leaders would pass out from. Okay. Leaders who would not just measure their success by the hierarchical steps they would climb on the corporate ladder, but by the value addition that he would bring about in the lives of all around him in whatever situation he might find himself in, and to some extent at least by the amount of sunshine he would bring in the lives of those who may not have been as lucky as he has been. That is why the school was set up.
Okay, so so far, how satisfied are you with the achievements of the school, basically?
Okay, satisfaction is a very tricky word. It can lead us to complacency, we know, but I also wouldn't want to look at achievement only through the narrow prism of academic and sporting achievement. Because we all are aware, I mean, just a 90% aggregate on the report card isn't going to guarantee our children's success tomorrow. How a child conducts himself, how he articulates his thoughts, how he looks at life, how whether he has the ability to make small sacrifices, keeping in mind the bigger picture, and probably more than anything else, how he thinks would be of as much importance as those marks on his report card. So if I were to look at all of this together, I think I would say that I feel very happy where SBA is today and over the decades what we have been able to do. Yes, very happy indeed.
Okay. Can you tell us about one distinguishing feature about the education offered at Sarala Birla?
Well, all schools, they are doing their best. We also are trying to do our best. And in most ways, I think all schools look at the process of learning and teaching in the same fashion. But yes, there can be some fundamental differences in some of the approaches that we have. And one such approach, since you're asking me, I do not know whether it distinguishes us, but we are very passionate about the culture that we have at our school. And we have worked over decades, and we have tried to refine it over decades to put it in the shape that it is in now. Because we all wish the good of our children. And usually a child has two institutions during his growing up years, the school and the family. And there is so much that he or she learns from both these institutions. Okay. Sarala Birla Academy is a boarding school. And so therefore we are both institutions merged together. And okay, we feel our talking to our children, our trying to inspire our children will help him build so much. And beyond that, our talking or inspiration is not going to lead him. It's like if in my family there is a child growing up, and in that family nobody were to respect time, value time, and I keep telling that child, look, son, you need to be punctual, it won't happen. the system, the culture of the family doesn't promote punctuality. So
Okay.
we look at ourselves as an extended family, and we have over time tried to refine our culture, our system, so that it can promote all that we wish to inculcate in a child who joins us.
Okay.
And we are very passionate about this, and we feel that it has given us results that are very satisfying for us. So
Okay.
that is one aspect that we are very passionate about, the
Okay.
culture that exists, the system that is in place at school.
Okay. But sir, somewhere do you think that single sex and boarding schools are running out of fashion now?
Okay, that's quite a common question, and I honestly do not think so. And I'm not saying that because I happen to be looking after a single-sex boarding school, as we're terming it. During the pandemic, yes, I mean there has been quite a dip in the interest in boarding schools in general.
Okay.
But over the last 2 years, I can again see a real surge in the interest towards, say, Sarala Birla Academy, because I'm associated with this school. And we happen to be a single-sex, out-and-out boarding school. I don't think it's going out of relevance. I think it's very, very relevant. Yes.
Okay. And one of our recent discussions in the education sector has been revolving around national curricular framework. Now, the NCF for school education has also been out in the public domain. Do you think it somehow gives the essence of what needs to be prescribed for students to study?
Two things. I think one, the latest NCF, National Curriculum Framework, is still in its nascent stage. I think a pre-draft was published last month, and it's a huge volume, of course, 600 plus pages. And I don't think we should look at the NCF in isolation. It probably should be looked at in conjunction with the national education policy, because the NCF wishes to take forward what is envisioned in the national education policy.
Okay.
And of course, there are so many aspects of the NCF, so it's difficult to encapsulate all of it in just a few minutes of discussion. But if I were to share my feelings about the NCF, largely I feel really happy, because I think I can sense some genuine interest, some genuine effort to bring about changes in the educational practices, not just ideas. And I'm also happy to see that when we talk of practices, I think the NCF wishes to involve the school environment, the school culture in this NCF. And that for me is very significant.
Okay.
Another aspect that I feel very happy about is, I think we are genuinely in the NCF looking at trying to bring about a positive change, if not transformational, a positive change in the learning experience. Because for me, that learning experience is very important, because the experience I have while I'm learning something, that will be directly proportional to the amount of excellence that will come about in me from the learning that I receive. And unless my learning can bring about an excellence in me, my learning, I feel, would be incomplete. Learning is not just putting to real life test of physics or chemistry what I learn. It should bring about, it should change me, if not transform me. So I'm happy with the CF as it is.
Okay. And what's your take on the implementation of the national education policy so far? And are there some aspects that you think can be improved?
Well, implementation is probably the absolute key word, isn't it? Because so much hinges on how well we can implement what we have envisioned. And over the years, we have struggled a bit with this. And we have all felt that our educational system, our education policy needs to look at things very differently. Your magazine has been at the very forefront, been a very vocal contributor towards the need of this. So I feel, yes, we have over the decades changed, but the change has probably not been as rapid, as accelerated as it should have been. And therefore, we have reached a stage where probably the change needs to be something close to phenomenal.
Okay.
And Therefore, it is very important that we look at things very differently. And by differently, I know different is a very vague term, huge term. Let me put it this way. I think at the very heart of the national education policy is the fact that it wishes to bring about a sustainable transformation of the country into an equitable and vibrant learning society. So if we can keep that in firm focus as we go about trying to implement what needs to be, I think that will be the key. If we can keep that in focus and go about it on a much needed basis, on a priority basis, I think we will succeed to a large extent in implementing what we need to at this point of time.
So the following questions are going to be single word questions. What one book that you recommend for educationists?
Very difficult because there's so many aspects, so many books. But if I were to feel that education doesn't only need to be enjoyable, but it has to go a little beyond and be exciting.
Okay.
Then probably I would suggest For the Love of Physics by Walter Lewin.
Okay. A Nobel laureate that you admire?
Professor Richard Feynman.
Okay. Can you describe your leadership style in a word?
Probably a mixture of the strategic and the transformational.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much for being with us. It was nice having you. This brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.